information just into our newsroom today. Former UNL women's basketball player Ashley Scogins is suing over a sexual relationship with a coach. The filing names the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Board of Regents, athletic director Trev Alberts, current women's basketball coach Amy Williams, and former associate head coach Chuck Love Jr. Scogins claims Love groomed her for a sexual relationship. According to this lawsuit, sexual relations happened in different locations in athletics facilities. When he wanted it, he expected her to be available and willing, the lawsuit claims. Scogins said she felt trapped and was worried about reporting him. The lawsuit says in February of 2022, two teammates confronted her in Love's hotel room at an away game and then reported her to head coach Amy Williams. Scogins says she was interrogated by her teammates at the meeting the next day, where she denied anything improper at the instruction of Love. Afterwards, Scogins and Love were suspended. When they got back to campus, Scogins was then cut from the team. The lawsuit claims Williams took no measures to protect Scogins, and athletic director Trev Alberts did not order an investigation. It is unknown right now how much in damages Scogins is seeking. Scogins is pushing for a jury trial to be held in Lincoln.